Hello, radiant beings. Here we are on a new magnetic day, marking the beginning of the third Wavespell within the Blue Western Castle of Burning, Wavespell of the Blue Monkey. You can watch the video The Structure of the Tzolkin to take a look at the galactic calendar that Wavespells and castles are a part of, and you can watch the video The Structure of Wavespells for a detailed description of these 13-day cycles. And for more details about castles, you can watch the video The 5 Destiny Castles. You probably noticed since entering the Blue Western Castle of Burning, the energy here is really intense. Red Serpent opened the cycle with 10 gap days in a row. Then we've landed in the core days, the middle column with the white mirror. And now the Blue Monkey takes the lead, preparing us for the Yellow Seed Wavespell with its own set of 10 gap days. I suggest you watch the video of the core days for a better understanding of what the middle column represents. So if you thought it's been intense until now, wait till you see what's coming. I'm in my Blue Magnetic Monkey cycle this year, so today is actually my kin day for the year. Whoop, whoop. So excuse me if the monkey energy might be a little bit more present today. The Blue Monkey Wavespell looks like this, spiraling through the 13 lunar tones and the solar seals that accompany them from the Blue Magnetic Monkey up until the Blue Cosmic Night. Blue Monkey is the divine inner child inside all of us that hasn't lost its innocence in front of the harshness of the world. His mind name is Shuen. The inner child can be buried deep within because we felt that the only way to survive in this world is by keeping it hidden. The reason we feel this way is because of how we were raised. I've touched this topic in the Wavespell of the Yellow Human video, but this Wavespell is the perfect time to do it again. Most adults treat a child as if he's a blank canvas that they need to paint upon with all their failed dreams, aspirations, unconscious patterns and fears, instead of realizing that the child is a work of art already, one that he needs to discover and create by himself. Parents can only support this process, helping the child grow into the person he was meant to be. But parents usually try to mold the child according to their vision of what they want him to be. A child belongs to himself, not his parents, which isn't what most of us experienced as children. We did not belong to ourselves. We were constantly struggling to be how our parents wanted us to be. Our voice was silenced. Our trust was broken with empty promises. We learned that to fit into this world, we need to give up who we are. We need to hide our true self. So we start building up barriers and barriers and barriers and barriers of protection around the core of our inner child to keep it safe. And this is how the shadow gets created, through the rejection of who we are. Because shadow is just light which has been repressed. The shadow wasn't born from hate to sabotage us or anything like that, but it was born out of the desire to protect the core of our being from the harshness of the world. We could actually say that it was born out of love in a way, and this is a perspective that really helped me to stop fighting my shadows. The fighting just brings more inner misery. If we want to actually heal, we need to lay down our weapons to stop fighting our shadows. We need to accept our shadows, to understand them, and to love them. Only this way can the shadow be transformed back into light. But the more we fight it, the bigger it grows. So, all these strong barriers we built make it impossible for the inner child to make its voice heard. And this way, the barriers that were meant to protect him become his cage. Blue Monkey is here to awaken that child, to awaken our open-hearted wisdom, our trust, our innocence, our simplicity, and our joyful wonder. It gives us the capacity to see life through the eyes of a child, finding the magic within the mundane. When we grow up, we become so consumed by our thoughts, worries, and problems, and we get so caught up in the monkey mind that we lose sight of all this magic happening around us. What happens for the blue monkey in the shadows is that this is a super sensitive energy, just like a child. So if he's not emotionally validated, if he's shamed for his intense emotions, he's going to judge his sensitivity as a weakness, and he will choose to cut himself off from his emotional body. But when he does that, life begins to lose all of its color and flavor and spark and magic. This can make the blue monkey very serious, searching for enjoyment in this world only through the mind and the ego. We have kind of distorted our understanding of what it means to be a human being. We are taught that adults are responsible, serious, rigid, and goal-oriented. But think of the archetype of the childish wise master we keep seeing in stories. The first example that comes to mind is Yoda in Empire Strikes Back, who we see monkeying around and laughing all the time while also having a very serious and wise side. Because we can be both. The inner child doesn't need to make room for the adult. It's actually the adult that needs to make room for the inner child. Blue Monkey teaches us how to not take ourselves or life too seriously, how to laugh in front of the ups and downs of life. Because this archetype also gives us the power of humor and playfulness. A good sense of humor is a refined tool that helps us laugh our way out of the world of illusions. And this is why this archetype comes right after the mirror. Blue Monkey is the illusionist, the cosmic trickster and joker that shatters the illusions of our rigid mind. He helps us understand the cosmic joke that this life is only a huge playground for our soul. And when we awaken to the fact that we can become the conscious co-creators of this playground, that's when things get interesting. When we become the conscious co-creators, we become masters of illusions. We rise above the illusions to see the truth at the heart of the universe. Blue Monkey also teaches us how to not take things too personally, which is what we so naturally do as human beings, especially as children. But if we understand that life is only a huge playground for our soul and that we're making the rules of the game up as we go by learning from our mistakes, how can we take anything personally? For the consciousness of a child, the whole world seems to revolve around them. Parents get divorced, it's my fault. Hurricane, I made it happen. Dad loses his job, my fault. Dad is angry because he had a bad day at work and he just never learned how to deal with his anger in a healthy way, so he's pouring it all on me. No, definitely not. If he's angry, it's my fault. I'm a bad child. By taking everything that happens personally and not understanding that we aren't responsible for our parents' unresolved issues, here we are, traumatized human beings here to clean up the mess created through generational passed on trauma. But don't feel overwhelmed because the Blue Monkey's got you on this. Blue Monkey brings a deep healing by helping us change our perspective of our past experiences. As the lyrics of a song that I can't remember who's singing it goes, of course you can change the past, that's why you own it. You have the capacity as a intergalactic time traveler to travel within your past wounds and traumas and relive them not as a victim, but as an adult with the capacity to now understand the bigger picture of that trauma, as an adult who can now offer protection to that scared inner child within you. We can now be the adults our inner child has always wanted and needed. And this is actually why the Blue Monkey and the Red Dragon are challenges of one another. Red Dragon being the first Wavespell within the Tzolkin and a representation of the Divine Mother. We need to learn how to mother, nurture, and care for our inner child. And this is why the Red Dragon is a challenge of the monkey, because in the shadows, it completely forgets how to nurture and nourish its inner child. If we've paid attention to the white mirror and its guidance over the previous Wavespell, the process of healing our childhood wounds becomes so much more powerful. Because if we've been judging people for their behavior that hurt and traumatized us, The white mirror can actually make us face those aspects we were judging to understand that it was never something personal. We're all just hurt human beings hurting others through our unconscious wounds, not because we actually want to harm others. Quite the opposite. Many times we end up hurting others out of the desire to do good. Our parents didn't harm us because they wanted to. They were actually trying to do what they thought was best for us. By exploring the shadows that we're judging, exploring them inside ourselves, our perception about our traumatic experiences can change. We stop seeing things in black and white as enemy, aggressor, victim. Others aren't the enemy because there are no others. In Lak'Ech means I am another you, and we are all reflections of each other. This is why the white mirror is so powerful. Because if we judge others and we end up discovering the very things that we were judging inside of ourselves, we can start developing a lot more tolerance, compassion, and understanding. Because it's only once we've stepped in another person's shoes and understood why they behave the way they do that we can actually forgive. The best way for connecting with the blue monkey energy is doing inner child work, which is really important work to do if we want to grow spiritually. By keeping our inner child alive, we can achieve wholeness. By healing our inner child and giving him the space to be, we become more present. We invite more joy in our life, more authenticity, more spontaneity, more transparency, more self-acceptance. Inner child work means to actually talk to your inner child. So sit in meditation, take a few deep breaths to quiet down the monkey mind, and open the door to the room where your inner child is dwelling. Maybe you can take the time to visualize the room, because maybe how the room looks like can offer you insights about the state your inner child is in. And then talk to your inner child. Ask it what it wants, what it needs, what are his wounds, his traumas, his fears. Because behind every unhealed aspect of ourselves is our childlike reflection crying out in pain that needs to be seen in order to be healed. So nurture your inner child, listen to him, understand him. Life will regain its magic once you do. And I think this is where I also point out that the monkey being the trickster, he might pull one or some on you. He's gonna jump from a tree and come steal your food, just as the monkeys in India do, creating so much chaos. I've actually seen a monkey in India steal food from a table. A young lady was eating by herself and the monkey just came and stole her food. This is all a metaphor, of course, but blue monkey days and Wavespells can really mess things around quite a lot to trigger you and reveal those wounds and things that you need to heal. So during these 13 days, take the time to really listen to your inner child. What can you do to offer your inner child more freedom? What were the events in your childhood that build up all your strong protective walls? What are your inner child's fears, his dreams, his traumas, his desires, his limiting beliefs, the illusions that keep him chained? What does your inner child need to feel happy and protected? Are you stuck fighting your shadows, or do you see the scared inner child that is dwelling within them? And if you have any questions about the Dream Spell calendar, if you would like to discover more about the energy that your soul has chosen to embody on this journey through a galactic signature decoding session, or if you want to order your Dream Spell Organite pendant, you can contact me on my Facebook page or on my email. And don't forget to click follow on my Instagram page. Have a playful wave spell, and I will see you on the yellow magnetic seed. In Lak'Ech.